you as the caretaker, as the primary caretaker, you need to rest. You cannot go days and days and days without getting sleep. So if you've tried these basic steps of caring for a baby and none of those work, there's the final thing that you should do. If you've gone too long without sleep and you find yourself like feeling unwell because you're not getting enough sleep, what I recommend and what I do in that situation is I take care of the baby. I make sure everything's fine. It's okay. It's swaddled. It's fed. And it's burped as well as it can be. And then what I like to do is put the baby on the middle of the bed, no blankets or pillows around it, but swaddled and taken care of. And then what I do is I go to the opposite side of the house and go get 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, some sleep, because I know the baby's okay. I know, nothing's going to happen to the baby, but I need to get sleep so I'm able to take care of the baby. And so it's not ideal, but it's what needs to happen at that point, because you need to be able to function and troubleshoot to take care of the baby. Now, the reason I say that is because sometimes 95% of the time, if you go through those steps, it takes care of the problem and the baby feels better, the baby goes to sleep, but sometimes that doesn't work. I had a friend once who had a baby that she was just crying all the time, a brand new newborn baby, and she could not get the baby to calm down, and he was fussing and crying day and night, day and night, day and night. And she was going crazy. She's a beautiful lady, but she had these giant bags under her eyes, and she looked like she was ready to have a mental breakdown. And and understandably so. And she was a very good mom. And she had 2 older kids she'd done a great job with. Anyway, she's a great lady. So this is not a judgment on her parenting or anything. But anyway, I ran into her 4 months later, and she was doing better, and her little 4-month-old smiled, and I was taken aback. He had all his teeth grown in, her little 4-month-old, and I'm like, I've never seen a little baby 4 months old that has a full mouth of teeth. Like, it wasn't just like 1 tooth, 2 teeth. No, it was all his teeth were in. Well, she goes, yeah, it turned out that the reason I couldn't get him to stop crying is because he was teething. Now, normally newborns are not teething, okay? So nobody thought to think, oh, this baby's teething. Nobody could figure out what was wrong. Anyway, he was teething, and at 4 months of age, he had all his teeth grown in. And so, maybe something was wrong. Maybe he had hyperthyroidism or something. But my point is sometimes there's something out of your control that there's nothing you can do about that's causing the baby to be upset. If you're not getting sleep and the baby's crying, go through the basic steps. And if those basic steps don't work, put the baby in a safe place. You go to the other side of the house or go out to the car if you need to and get some sleep. Just get a couple hours of sleep. Now, if you're like too worried to leave your baby in the other room sleeping, there is a product out there that I have never gotten to try, and I would love to try, but I don't have the money we're on a super tight budget right now. Otherwise, I would own one right now. But a product that you would want to try is called the Owlet, Owlet, I think, Owlet. And what it is some students from BYU noticed that, you feel, as a parent, you feel anxious leaving your baby to sleep. Even if you're in the same room, you feel anxious. You're like, oh, is the baby okay? Is the baby okay? I know, because that's how I feel all the time. It's like, is the baby okay? Check on the baby. Oh, okay. And it kind of keeps you anxious as a new parent. Well, so what they came up with, these students, is they came up with basically a little baby sock that has an oximeter in it. An oximeter tests the oxygen levels of, they use them in hospitals. It's a little thing they put on your finger to make sure your oxygen levels are good. And Anyways, basically they made these little socks for newborns that have an oximeter in them, making sure their oxygen levels are good, that they're breathing. And then they attached it to 2 separate alarms. Like, it'll notify you on your phone, an alarm will go off, and then there's a separate alarm. So there's 2 alarms that would go off if for whatever reason your baby's oxygen levels started to drop. And so I think that is a fabulous idea, and I would like one if I had the money for it right now, but I don't. But so that's another thing. Like, if you do need to leave the room and go get some sleep, if you have a little Owlet device, that'll give you that extra reassurance of, okay, this will let me know if something bad happens, something that is, my baby's choking or dying or something like that. And I can rest in peace, basically. I can go in the other room. I can get the sleep I need, despite the fact that this baby's fussy. And right now, I can't figure out why. I'm going to go get some sleep, get some rest. Hopefully my brain will start working and I'll have ideas when I wake up. But in the meantime, this will notify me if something is drastically wrong with the baby and the baby's not breathing. So anyway, so that's what I recommend, the process that you go through if you have a baby that's crying and you have no idea why.